Okay, what would you do if you received in the mail an invitation to play in the Masters at Augusta National? This is a dream come true and huge dilemma all wrapped up into one, and it is exactly what happened to our guest on the podcast today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for all the latest and greatest stories out there in the world of golf. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Scott Stallings. All right, we have a Scott Stallings, the real Scott Stallings, on the podcast today. One of the real Scott Stallings. How are you?
I like how that sounds. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. You're the original, I guess.
I'm the original. So
So
I have a few years on the other Scott Stallings.
I heard this story and I had to reach out. I'm like,
Sure.
this is incredible. So you get an invitation to the Masters. Walk me through this. You go to the
Okay.
you go to the mailbox.
Well, I'll back it up a little bit because I think it has some significance of the story.
Yeah.
Back in August of last year, we bought a condo in St. Simons as a vacation rental, and up to this point, it has been booked pretty solidly. But this week of first week of New Year's was totally open. So my wife and I, we live in Atlanta, decided to get a little R&R to start the new year, and drove down New Year's Eve down to St. Simons. And when we got here, our usual routine is she goes and opens the door, and I grab a bunch of luggage and start carrying it in. But she got to the front door, and there was a UPS package on the door at the door, and so it was addressed to me. So she immediately just opened it up, saying, "What's this?" And then she pulls it out, and there's a nice green envelope with the Masters logo. And we thought, she yelled out to me that we won, I guess, tickets to the Masters.
Do
'Cause
you,
we've
so
been
do you
trying to
like
get
join the lottery for tickets or?
we have in the past. We didn't do it this year. And what struck us is, well, why are they sending it to here, not to our address in Atlanta? And then she looked at it a little bit closer, and it says, "No, it's not to attend; it's to compete in the Masters."
So your wife opens the now in the UPS envelope. Is it just like a vanilla
It's
color or
very
something?
generic,
Okay.
generic envelope that UPS uses. So once you open it up, there's a green envelope with an invitation that has calligraphy on it, and then a letter from the chairman of the Augusta National signed, giving all the details of the tournament. So it was like, okay, we had a little bit of a twinkle in our eye to think that we'd be able to play the Masters, but we knew there had to be a mix-up. And quite honestly, I've been following Scott Stallings in his career, mainly because we shared the same name. Of course, we've never connected,
Yeah.
and so we knew who the rightful owner was, but it was New Year's Eve, and so we put the envelope on the table and just forgot about it. Enjoyed our New Year's Eve celebration, and it wasn't until the next day that my wife and I decided we needed to reach out to the real Scott Stallings, or the golfer Scott Stallings, not necessarily the real.
The guy
And
who's supposed to be playing at the Masters.
yeah, the guy who's supposed to be playing has a little bit better of a handicap than I do.
How much of that night did you say, okay, how many rounds can I pull off before they figure it out that it's not me?
Oh, I know. I played a few scenarios in my head, but my wife was pretty quick to pop that bubble. So, uh, so
Women.
I know, but no, I really, at that point, I knew we had to get it to the rightful owner, but I didn't give it much thought after that. We had dinner plans, and then we had the Georgia game we wanted to watch, and which went past midnight. And the next day, we were just so tired, we slept in, and did a walk on the beach and a few things. And it wasn't until that evening that we decided to try to reach out to him.
Hilarious. So, how does it get to you? Because a lot of initially people are like, what kind of nutballs are running Augusta National that they sent it to the wrong guy?
I know. Well, when you dive into it a little bit, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't, because what's interesting, when Scott Stallings, the golfer, played in the last time he played in the Masters was 2014.
Okay.
And at the time, he was with a management company that had an office in St. Simon, literally 1 block away from where my condo is. But they had been bought and sold and had moved from that location. So as far as I know, Augusta National had that old address. Now, why they wouldn't check to make sure it's current address? That was 6 years ago. I mean, people move all the time. So
Yeah.
why would you send it to this address without verifying that it is correct? Well, when it came to that address, UPS, who knows that they delivered some package to my condo at Scott Stallings, they just slapped a new address label on it, and that's when it arrived at my front door.
So the UPS they're like, oh, we know this guy. He lives
Yeah,
over here.
yeah. So, and it's like 1 block away. So, and they knew that there wasn't a Scott Stallings at that other address, so they just looked it up, sent it to me. But at the same time, again, Augusta National had that old address. Why they didn't verify, I don't know. You would think that it was on all the golfers have updated information.
I would
So,
imagine. Well, I guess if they think it's a management company, they might think, well, they don't move, so they'll get it to you.
right, right, exactly. But
So
companies are bought and sold all the time.
yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so what's on the address or the invitation? Is it handwritten?
On the invitation, so there is an envelope inside an envelope. The outside was calligraphy written, Mr. Scott Stallings. You open it up, and it's an official invitation to the Masters. And then, along with that, a letter from the chairman welcoming and congratulating that you have been invited to compete into the Masters. And then on top of that, well, behind that was 3 or 4 pages of detail
Ooh.
of how to register, where to go, just the whole 9 yards, where to eat. I mean,
So
they
they're
didn't
giving
leave
you, what is that? Where to eat on property or?
on property. Well, just a little bit of everything about checking into the club. I mean, everything that you would think invitation to the Masters would include.
You
So
know
now I
all
know
the
all
inner
the details.
details. Like, you know how to get in, where
I
to
know how to
go.
get in. I've got my ID, which says Scott Stallings, so maybe I can just go through the front gate and just say, "Hey, I forgot my invitation" or something, because I've already mailed it to him. It has since been received as of yesterday. So,
So you didn't think like, okay, I mean, maybe you did. Like, the first thing is like, okay, I got to buy a tour bag with my name on it. Anybody
well, I
will
was
caddy
thinking
for
maybe,
me.
yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping Scott will have an extra bag. Maybe we can play together. I don't know.
So, okay, so you reach out via what, Instagram DM to the real
Mm-hmm. To
invitation
the
recipient guy, Scott.
recipient, correct? Yes.
And how long before he replies back to you?
Well, and that's another kind of funny chain of events because we sent a direct message, I guess, and it came from my Instagram, which was he probably thought is odd when he saw his name as somebody trying to reach him with the same last name or same name. But we did it. We sent it that night. I don't know, about 6 or 7, and about an hour went by and we got a response with a ha 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 emoji. Yeah, that's all it had.
That's
It
it.
wasn't like it was like so we knew he thought that this was probably a gag. And we're like, he doesn't believe us. So we took pictures of everything. I mean, we took the pictures of the invitation, the letter, the outside calligraphy, and sent that to him. And finally, he realized, oh gosh, this is real. They have my invitation. And so I put my phone number on there and said, please just give me a call. I want to get this to your hands. And about an hour later, I had my phone on Do Not Disturb after 8. Well, he calls at 9:15, and it went straight to voicemail, so I never got it until the next morning. And I told my wife, "Wow, he did get in touch with us." And at that point, my wife looked at her phone, and her Instagram was just exploding. I mean, it's like he basically posted our direct message and redacted a few things, and then posted it on Twitter and Instagram, and that's when the fire started to go.
He's so lucky that it was like a successful, like, professional, because I could imagine some kid with the same getting it and just holding it for ransom.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we didn't really think about that. We're not that devious, but there are a lot of crooks out there would probably earn a small fortune by trying to sell this invitation. Because I mean, if you get anything that's marketed with the Masters on it, there's value of just in that. So
Has anybody from Augusta National reached out to you?
that's the consistent question I get, and no, they have not. I really don't expect them to either, but who knows?
I've heard stories, I don't know how true they are, about Augusta National when just randomly like offering people memberships to Augusta National.
Hey, that would be something.
Not that they would do that, but this kind of would line up with some of the stories I've heard.
Yeah. Well, it's a big mystery. So I don't think this is played out yet. Fortunately, Scott has offered to send me and my wife to the practice rounds on Monday and Tuesday, and has invited us for dinner on Monday night. So that in itself, I think we've won big. But
That's
if it
awesome.
goes any further than that, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Have you ever been to the Masters?
I have not. It's been a bucket list item, and we have definitely attempted a few times through a lottery system, which is truly a lottery. I mean, winning the lottery is like 3 billion to one. So I figured that was pretty much our odds.
I've never won the lottery. I've only gone last year for the first time because
Oh, really?
a friend had a ticket and invited me.
I have a friend that we work with that's been going has been 50 years going. And but it was only through his parents, and when his parents passed away, the tickets did too. And so this is his first year not going in 50 years.
Oh,
So that's how I mean, you have to have that tie-in, I guess, and it's just impossible to get in.
if I were if I were Augusta Nash, I don't know. I would at least let you play. I would let you play somewhere around there. I somehow
It
get
would
you
have
on.
to be on a down day when nobody else is there, because I'm not getting in front of 10,000 people to hit a ball. I'd probably faint.
Yeah, I don't think I'd let you play in the Masters or that week, but I would invite you like now or around this time or something like that. I somehow a member has got to reach out to you and get you out there.
That would be great. Maybe Billy Payne. I know he helped with the Olympics, and I was involved with the Olympics, so we have a connection there. So who knows?
So incredible story. I love
Yeah.
how I love it. I once had a roommate who was named after a old time pro golfer. So, but
Right.
nothing ever happened to him like this. But that guy never qualified for the Masters either. So,
They're right.
and then I hear your wife is named Jenny, and Scott's wife is also named Jenny. So, did this all? It's all intertwined.
Well, that's the coincidences that just keep on coming. Yeah, for her, both our wife's names to be named Jennifer, and it's just so uncanny how everything's come together. And I found out just the other day, I did some more research on Scott Stallings, and he had a YouTube video out there, and turns out we like the same bourbon, which is Taylor. So, which is again, there might be some more.
A Taylor bourbon is the drink of Scott Stallings and Scott Stallings. So
And Scott Stallings.
maybe Taylor
Maybe
bourbon
they can come in. All right.
could send you a couple bottles
Couple of bottles, yeah.
to enjoy.
That would be great.
I love it. Well, hey, thanks for the story. I appreciate your time.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, I am rooting for you to somehow not just attend the Masters, but play Augusta National.
Well, I like that a lot. And my only prediction is that Scott Stallings will win the Masters this year.
That would be the ultimate. I mean, that would be the ultimate. Are you going to put any money on him on the sports betting app?
Oh man, I don't know. I might have to.
It could be one of those, like,
It could be a Cinderella story. I
Yeah.
mean, that would take it to a whole new level.
Well, he's a good player, so who knows?
He is. He's doing. In fact, he's competing in the Century tournament out in Hawaii right now. Did pretty good yesterday, and I think he's got a chance.
What do you shoot? What's your handicap or what?
Oh, it's nowhere near hitting 66, but I can do. If I get into low 80s or the high, the high 80s, low 90s, I'm fine. I'm good. It's a good day for me.
I love it. Well, thanks. Incredible story. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it, Scott.
Absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you.